And that, my lord, I shall be loath to do. 'Tis an ill office for a gentleman, especially against his very friend. Duke, where your good word cannot advantage him, your slander never can endamage him. Therefore the office is indifferent, being entreated to it by your friend. Proteus, you have prevailed, my lord, if I can do it, by aught that I can speak in his dispraise. She shall not long continue love to him, but say this weed her love from Valentine. It follows not that she will love Sir Thurio. Thurio. Therefore, as you unwind her love from him, lest it should ravel and be good to none, you must provide to bottom it on me, which must be done by praising me as much as you in worth dispraise Sir Valentine. Duke, and Proteus, we dare trust you in this kind, because we know, on Valentine's report, you are already love's firm votary, and cannot soon revolt and change your mind. Upon this warrant shall you have access, where you with Silvia may confer at large, for she is lumpish, heavy, melancholy, and for your friend's sake will be glad of you, where you may temper her by your persuasion, to hate young Valentine and love my friend. Proteus, as much as I can do, I will effect. But you, Sir Thurio, are not sharp enough. You must lay lime to tangle her desires, by wailful sonnets whose composed rhymes should be full fraught with serviceable vows. Duke, I much is the force of heaven-bred poesy. Proteus, say that upon the altar of her beauty you sacrifice your tears, your sighs, your heart. Write till your ink be dry, and with your tears moist it again, and frame some feeling line that may discover such integrity. For Orpheus' lute was strung with poet's sinews, whose golden touch could soften steel and stones, make tigers tame and huge leviathans, forsake unsounded deeps to dance on sands. After your dire lamenting elegies, visit by night your lady's chamber window, with some sweet consort to their instruments. Tune a deploring dump, the night's dead silence will well become such sweet complaining grievance. This or else nothing will inherit her. Duke, this discipline shows thou hast been in love. Thurio, and thy advice this night I'll put in practice. Therefore, sweet Proteus, my direction giver, let us into the city presently, to sort some gentlemen well skilled in music. I have a sonnet that will serve the turn, to give the onset to thy good advice. Duke, about it, gentlemen. Proteus, we'll wait upon your grace till after supper, and afterward determine our proceedings. Duke, even now about it I will pardon you. Act 4. Scene 1, a forest between Milan and Verona. Enter certain outlaws. First outlaw. Fellows, stand fast, I see a passenger. Second outlaw. If there be 10, shrink not, but down with them. Enter Valentine, and speed. Third outlaw. Stand, sir, and throw us that you have about ye. If not, we'll make you sit, and rifle you. Speed. Sir, we are undone, these are the villains that all the travellers do fear so much. Valentine. My friends. First outlaw. That's not so, sir, we are your enemies. Second outlaw. Peace will hear him. Third outlaw. I by my beard will we, for he is a proper man. Valentine. Then know that I have little wealth to lose. A man I am crossed with adversity. My riches are these poor habiliments, of which if you should here disfurnish me, you take the sum and substance that I have. Second outlaw. Whither travel you? Valentine. To Verona. First outlaw. Whence came you? Valentine. From Milan. Third outlaw. Have you long sojourned there? Valentine. Some 16 months, and longer might have stayed, if crooked fortune had not thwarted me. First outlaw. What were you banished thence? Valentine. I was. Second outlaw. For what offense? Valentine. For that which now torments me to rehearse. I killed a man, whose death I much repent. But yet I slew him manfully in fight, without false vantage or base treachery. First outlaw. Why ne'er repent it, if it were done so? But were you banished for so small a fault? Valentine. I was, and held me glad of such a doom. Second outlaw. Have you the tongues? Valentine. My youthful travel therein made me happy, or else I often had been miserable. Third outlaw. By the bare scalp of Robin Hood's fat friar, this fellow were a king for our wild faction. First outlaw. We'll have him, sirs, a word. Speed. Master be one of them, it's an honorable kind of thievery. Valentine. Peace, villain. Second outlaw. Tell us this, have you anything to take to? Valentine. Nothing but my fortune. Third outlaw. Know then that some of us are gentlemen, such as the fury of ungoverned youth, thrust from the company of awful men. Myself was from Verona banished, for practicing to steal away a lady, an heir and near allied unto the Duke. Second outlaw. And I from Mantua for a gentleman, who in my mood I stabbed unto the heart. First outlaw. And I for such like petty crimes as these. But to the purpose, for we cite our faults, that they may hold excused our lawless lives. And partly, seeing you are beautified with goodly shape and by your own reports, a linguist and a man of such perfection, as we do in our quality much want. Second outlaw. Indeed, because you are a banished man. Therefore, above the rest, we parley to you. Are you content to be our general, to make a virtue of necessity, and live as we do in this wilderness? Third outlaw. What sayst thou, wilt thou be of our consort? Say I, and be the captain of us all. We'll do thee homage, and be ruled by thee. Love thee as our commander and our king. First outlaw. But if thou scorn our courtesy, thou deest. Second outlaw. Thou shalt not live to brag what we have offered. Valentine. I take your offer and will live with you, provided that you do no outrages on silly women or poor passengers. Third outlaw. No, we detest such vile base practices. Come, go with us, we'll bring thee to our cruise. and show thee all the treasure we have got, which with ourselves all rest at thy dispose. Scene 2, Milan, the court of the Duke's palace. Enter Proteus. Proteus. Already have I been false to Valentine, and now I must be as unjust to Thurio. Under the colour of commending him, I have access my own love to prefer. But Silvia is too fair, too true, too holy, to be corrupted with my worthless gifts. When I protest true loyalty to her, she twits me with my falsehood to my friend. When to her beauty I commend my vows, she bids me think how I have been forsworn, in breaking faith with Julia, whom I loved, and notwithstanding all her sudden quips, the least whereof would quell a lover's hope. Yet spaniel-like, the more she spurns my love, the more it grows and fawneth on her still. But here comes Thurio, now must we to her window, and give some evening music to her ear. Enter Thurio and musicians. Thurio. How now, Sir Proteus, are you crept before us? Proteus. I, gentle Thurio, for you know that love will creep in service where it cannot go. Thurio. I, but I hope, sir, that you love not here. Proteus. Sir, but I do, or else I would be hence. Thurio. Who, Silvia? Proteus. I, Silvia, for your sake. Thurio. I thank you for your own. Now, gentlemen, let's tune, and to it lustily a while. Enter host and Julia in boy's clothes, as Sebastian. Host. Now, my young guest, methinks your melancholy, I pray you, why is it? Julia. Merry, mine host, because I cannot be merry. Host. Come, we'll have you merry. I'll bring you where you shall hear music, and see the gentleman that you asked for. Julia. But shall I hear him speak? Host. I, that you shall. Julia. That will be music. Host. Hark, hark. Julia. Is he among these? Host. I, but peace, let's hear 'em. Song. Proteus. Who is Silvia, what is she? That all our swains commend her. Holy, fair, and wise is she. The heaven such grace did lend her, that she might admired be. Is she kind as she is fair? For beauty lives with kindness. Love doth to her eyes repair, to help him of his blindness, and being helped inhabits there. Then to Silvia let us sing, that Silvia is excelling. She excels each mortal thing, upon the dull earth dwelling. To her let us garlands bring. Host. How now, are you sadder than you were before? How do you, man, the music likes you not? Julia. You mistake, the musician likes me not. Host. Why, my pretty youth? Julia. He plays false, father. Host. How out of tune on the strings. Julia. Not so, but yet so false, that he grieves my very heartstrings. Host. You have a quick ear. Julia. I would I were deaf, it makes me have a slow heart. Host. I perceive you delight not in music. Julia. Not a whit when it jars so. Host. Hark, what fine change is in the music. Julia. That change is the spite. Host. You would have them always play but one thing. Julia. I would always have one play but one thing. But host doth this Proteus that we talk on. Often resort unto this gentlewoman. Host. I tell you what Lance, his man, told me, he loved her out of all nick. Julia. Where is Lance? Host. Gone to seek his dog, which tomorrow, by his master's command, he must carry for a present to his lady. Julia. Peace, stand aside, the company parts. Proteus. Sir Thurio, fear not you, I will so plead, that you shall say my cunning drift excels. Thurio. Where might we? Proteus. At St. Gregory's Well. Thurio. Farewell. Exeunt Thurio and musicians. Enter Silvia, above. Proteus. Madam, good, even to your ladyship. Silvia. I thank you for your music, gentlemen. Who is that spake? Proteus. One lady, if you knew his pure heart's truth, you would quickly learn to know him by his voice. Silvia. Sir Proteus, as I take it. Proteus. Sir Proteus, gentle lady, and your servant. Silvia. What's your will? Proteus. That I may compass yours. Silvia. You have your wish, my will is even this, that presently you hie you home to bed. Thou subtle, perjured, false, disloyal man, think'st thou I am so shallow, so conceitless, to be seduced by thy flattery, that hast deceived so many with thy vows? Return, return, and make thy love amends. For me, by this pale queen of night, I swear, I am so far from granting thy request, that I despise thee for thy wrongful suit, and by intend to chide myself. Even for this time I spend in talking to thee. Proteus. I grant, sweet love, that I did love a lady, but she is dead. Julia. 'Twere false if I should speak it, for I am sure she is not buried. Silvia. Say that she be, yet Valentine thy friend survives, to whom thyself art witness. I am betrothed, and art thou not ashamed to wrong him with thy importunacy? Proteus. I likewise hear that Valentine is dead. Silvia. And so suppose am I, for in his grave, assure thyself, my love is buried. Proteus. Sweet lady, let me rake it from the earth. Silvia. Go to thy lady's grave, and call hers thence, or at the least, in her sepulchre thine. Julia. He heard not that. Proteus. Madam, if your heart be so obdurate, vouchsafe me yet your picture for my love, the picture that is hanging in your chamber. To that I'll speak, to that I'll sigh and weep. For since the substance of your perfect self is else devoted, I am but a shadow, and to your shadow will I make true love. Julia. If 'twere a substance, you would sure deceive it, and make it but a shadow, as I am. Silvia. I am very loath to be your idol, sir, but since your falsehood shall become you well, to worship shadows and adore false shapes, send to me in the morning, and I'll send it. And so good rest. Proteus. as wretches have o'ernight, that wait for execution in the morn. Julia, host, will you go? Host, by my holidom I was fast asleep. Julia, pray you, where lies Sir Proteus? Host, Mary at my house, trust me, I think 'tis almost day. Julia, not so, but it hath been the longest night, that ere I watched, and the most heaviest. Scene 3, the same. Enter Eglamour. Eglamour. This is the hour that Madam Silvia entreated me to call and know her mind. There's some great matter she'd employ me in. Madam, madam. Enter Silvia above. Silvia. Who calls? Eglamour. Your servant and your friend. One that attends your ladyship's command. Silvia. Sir Eglamour, 1,000 times good morrow. Eglamour. As many, worthy lady, to yourself. According to your ladyship's impose. I am thus early come to know what service it is your pleasure to command me in. Silvia. O Eglamour, thou art a gentleman. Think not I flatter, for I swear I do not. Valiant, wise, remorseful, well accomplished. Thou art not ignorant what dear good will I bear unto the banished Valentine, nor how my father would enforce me marry. Vain Thurio, whom my very soul abhorred, thyself hast loved, and I have heard thee say, no grief did ever come so near thy heart, as when thy lady and thy true love died, upon whose grave thou vowedst pure chastity. Sir Eglamour, I would to Valentine, to Mantua, where I hear he makes abode, and for the ways are dangerous to pass. I do desire thy worthy company, upon whose faith and honor I repose. Urge not my father's anger, Eglamour, but think upon my grief, a lady's grief, and on the justice of my flying hence, to keep me from a most unholy match, which heaven and fortune still rewards with plagues. I do desire thee, even from a heart as full of sorrows as the sea of sands, to bear me company and go with me, if not to hide what I have said to thee, that I may venture to depart alone. Eglamour. Madam, I pity much your grievances, which, since I know they virtuously are placed, I give consent to go along with you, recking as little what betideth me, as much I wish all good befortune you. When wills you go? Silvia. This evening coming. Eglamour. Where shall I meet you? Silvia. At Friar Patrick's cell, where I intend holy confession. Eglamour. I will not fail your ladyship. Good morrow, gentle lady. Silvia. Good morrow, kind Sir Eglamour. Scene 4, the same. Enter Lance with his dog Crab. Lance. When a man's servant shall play the cur with him, look you, it goes hard, one that I brought up of a puppy, one that I saved from drowning when 3 or 4 of his blind brothers and sisters went to it. I have taught him even as one would say precisely, thus I would teach a dog. I was sent to deliver him as a present to Mistress Silvia from my master, and I came no sooner into the dining chamber, but he steps me to her trencher and steals her capon's leg. Oh, 'tis a foul thing when a cur cannot keep himself in all companies. I would have, as one should say, one that takes upon him to be a dog indeed, to be, as it were, a dog at all things. If I had not had more wit than he, to take a fault upon me that he did, I think verily he had been hanged for't. Sure as I live, he had suffered for't. You shall judge. He thrusts me himself into the company of 3 or 4 gentlemen like dogs under the Duke's table. He had not been there, bless the mark. A pissing while, but all the chambers smelt him. Out with the dog, says one. What cur is that, says another. Whip him out, says the third. Hang him up, says the Duke. I, having been acquainted with the smell before, knew it was crab, and goes me to the fellow that whips the dogs. Friend, quoth I, you mean to whip the dog? Ay, marry do I, quoth he. You do him the more wrong, quoth I, 'twas I did the thing you wot of. He makes me no more ado, but whips me out of the chamber. How many masters would do this for his servant? Nay, I'll be sworn I have sat in the stock for puddings he hath stolen, otherwise he had been executed. I have stood on the pillory for geese he hath killed, otherwise he had suffered for't. Thou think'st not of this now. Nay, I remember the trick you served me when I took my leave of Madam Silvia. Did not I bid thee still mark me, and do as I do? When didst thou see me heave up my leg, and make water against a gentlewoman's farthingale? Didst thou ever see me do such a trick? Enter Proteus and Julia disguised as Sebastian. Proteus. Sebastian is thy name, I like thee well, and will employ thee in some service presently. Julia. In what you please, I'll do what I can. Proteus. I hope thou wilt. How now, you whoreson peasant? Where have you been these 2 days loitering? Lance. Marry, sir, I carried Mistress Silvia, the dog you bade me. Proteus. And what says she to my little jewel? Lance. Mary, she says your dog was a cur, and tells you currish thanks is good enough for such a present. Proteus. But she received my dog. Lance. No, indeed, did she not. Here have I brought him back again. Proteus. What didst thou offer her this from me? Lance. I, sir, the other squirrel was stolen from me by the hangman's boys in the marketplace, and then I offered her mine own, who is a dog as big as 10 of yours, and therefore the gift the greater. Proteus. Go, get thee hence, and find my dog again, or ne'er return again into my sight. Away, I say, stayest thou to vex me here? A slave that still an end turns me to shame. Exit Lance with crab. Sebastian, I have entertained thee, partly that I have need of such a youth, that can with some discretion do my business. For 'tis no trusting to yond foolish lout, but chiefly for thy face and thy behavior, which, if my augury deceive me not, witness good bringing up, fortune and truth. Therefore know thou, for this I entertain thee. Go presently, and take this ring with thee. Deliver it to Madam Silvia. She loved me, well delivered it to me. Julia. It seems you loved not her, to leave her token. She's dead belike. Proteus. Not so, I think she lives. Julia. Alas. Proteus. Why dost thou cry, alas? Julia. I cannot choose, but pity her. Proteus. Wherefore shouldst thou pity her? Julia. Because methinks that she loved you as well as you do love your Lady Silvia. She dreams on him that has forgot her love. You dote on her that cares not for your love. 'Tis pity love should be so contrary, and thinking on it makes me cry, alas. Proteus. Well, give her that ring, and therewithal. This letter, that's her chamber, tell my lady. I claim the promise for her heavenly picture. Your message done, hie home unto my chamber, where thou shalt find me sad and solitary. Julia, how many women would do such a message? Alas, poor Proteus, thou hast entertained a fox to be the shepherd of thy lambs. Alas, poor fool, why do I pity him, that with his very heart despiseth me? Because he loves her, he despiseth me. Because I love him, I must pity him. This ring I gave him when he parted from me, to bind him to remember my good will. And now am I, unhappy messenger, to plead for that which I would not obtain, to carry that which I would have refused, to praise his faith which I would have dispraised. I am my master's true, confirmed love, but cannot be true servant to my master, unless I prove false traitor to myself. Yet will I woo for him, but yet so coldly, as heaven it knows, I would not have him speed. Enter Silvia, attended. Gentlewoman, good day, I pray you be my mean, to bring me where to speak with Madam Silvia. Silvia. What would you with her, if that I be she? Julia. If you be she, I do entreat your patience, to hear me speak the message I am sent on. Silvia. From whom? Julia. From my master, Sir Proteus, madam. Silvia. Oh, he sends you for a picture. Julia. I, madam. Silvia. Ursula, bring my picture there. She has brought the picture. Go give your master this, tell him from me. One Julia, that his changing thoughts forget, would better fit his chamber than this shadow. Julia. Madam, please you peruse this letter. Gives her a letter. Pardon me, madam, I have unadvised delivered you a paper that I should not. This is the letter to your ladyship. Takes back the letter and gives her another. Silvia. I pray thee, let me look on that again. Julia. It may not be, good madam, pardon me. Silvia. There, hold. I will not look upon your master's lines. I know they are stuffed with protestations, and full of new-found oaths, which he will break as easily as I do tear his paper. She tears the second letter. Julia. Madam, he sends your ladyship this ring. Silvia. The more shame for him that he sends it me, for I have heard him say 1,000 times, his Julia gave it him at his departure, though his false finger have profaned the ring. Mine shall not do his Julia so much wrong. Julia. She thanks you. Silvia. What sayst thou? Julia. I thank you, madam, that you tender her. Poor gentlewoman, my master wrongs her much. Silvia. Dost thou know her? Julia. Almost as well as I do know myself. To think upon her woes, I do protest that I have wept 100 several times. Silvia. Belike she thinks that Proteus hath forsook her. Julia. I think she doth, and that's her cause of sorrow. Silvia. Is she not passing fair? Julia. She hath been fairer, madam, than she is, when she did think my master loved her well. She, in my judgment, was as fair as you. But since she did neglect her looking-glass, and threw her sun-expelling mask away, the air hath starved the roses in her cheeks. and pinched the lily tincture of her face, that now she is become as black as I. Silvia. How tall was she? Julia. About my stature, for at Pentecost, when all our pageants of delight were played, our youth got me to play the woman's part, and I was trimmed in Madame Julia's gown, which served me as fit by all men's judgments, as if the garment had been made for me. Therefore I know she is about my height. And at that time I made her weep agood, for I did play a lamentable part. Madam, 'twas Ariadne passioning for Theseus, perjury and unjust flight, which I so lively acted with my tears, that my poor mistress, moved therewithal, wept bitterly, and would I might be dead, if I in thought felt not her very sorrow. Silvia. She is beholding to thee, gentle youth. Alas, poor lady, desolate and left, I weep myself to think upon thy words. Here, youth, there is my purse, I give thee this, for thy sweet mistress' sake, because thou lovest her. Farewell, Julia, and she shall thank you for't, if e'er you know her. Exeunt Silvia and attendants. A virtuous gentlewoman, mild and beautiful. I hope my master's suit will be but cold, since she respects my mistress' love so much. Alas, how love can trifle with itself. Here is her picture, let me see, I think. If I had such attire, this face of mine were full as lovely as is this of hers. And yet the painter flattered her a little, unless I flatter with myself too much. Her hair is auburn, mine is perfect yellow. If that be all the difference in his love, I'll get me such a colored periwig. Her eyes are gray as glass, and so are mine. Ay, but her forehead's low, and mine's as high. What should it be that he respects in her, but I can make respective in myself? If this fond love were not a blinded god. Come, shadow, come, and take this shadow up. For 'tis thy rival, O thou senseless form. Thou shalt be worshipped, kissed, loved, and adored. And were there sense in his idolatry, my substance should be statue in thy stead. I'll use thee kindly for thy mistress' sake, that used me so, or else, by Jove I vow, I should have scratched out your unseeing eyes, to make my master out of love with thee. Act 5. Scene 1, Milan, an abbey. Enter Eglamour. Eglamour. The sun begins to gild the western sky, and now it is about the very hour that Silvia at Friar Patrick's cell should meet me. She will not fail, for lovers break not hours, unless it be to come before their time. So much they spur their expedition. Enter Silvia. See where she comes, lady, a happy evening. Silvia. Amen, amen, go on, good Eglamour. Out at the postern, by the abbey wall, I fear I am attended by some spies. Eglamour. Fear not, the forest is not 3 leagues off. If we recover that, we are sure enough. Scene 2, the same, a room in the Duke's palace. Enter Thurio, Proteus, and Julia. Thurio. Sir Proteus, what says Silvia to my suit? Proteus. Oh, sir, I find her milder than she was, and yet she takes exceptions at your person. Thurio. What, that my leg is too long? Proteus. No, that it is too little. Thurio. I'll wear a boot to make it somewhat rounder. Julia. But love will not be spurred to what it loathes. Thurio. What says she to my face? Proteus. She says it is a fair one. Thurio. Nay then the wanton lies, my face is black. Proteus. But pearls are fair, and the old saying is, black men are pearls in beauteous ladies' eyes. Julia. 'Tis true, such pearls as put out ladies' eyes. For I had rather wink than look on them. Thurio. How likes she my discourse? Proteus. Chapter 99, when you talk of war. Thurio. But well when I discourse of love and peace. Julia. But better indeed when you hold your peace. Thurio. What says she to my valor? Proteus. Oh sir, she makes no doubt of that. Julia. She needs not when she knows it cowardice. Thurio. What says she to my birth? Proteus. That you are well derived. Julia. True, from a gentleman to a fool. Thurio. Considers she my possessions? Proteus. Oh, aye, and pities them. Thurio. Wherefore? Julia. That such an ass should owe them. Proteus. That they are out by lease. Julia. Here comes the Duke. Enter Duke. Duke. How now, Sir Proteus, how now, Thurio? Which of you saw Sir Eglamour of late? Thurio. Not I. Proteus. Nor I. Duke. Saw you my daughter? Proteus. Neither. Duke. Why then she's fled unto that peasant Valentine, and Eglamour is in her company. 'Tis true, for Friar Lawrence met them both, as he in penance wandered through the forest. Him he knew well, and guessed that it was she. But being masked, he was not sure of it. Besides, she did intend confession at Patrick's cell this even, and there she was not. These likelihoods confirm her flight from hence. Therefore, I pray you, stand not to discourse, but mount you presently, and meet with me upon the rising of the mountain foot that leads toward Mantua, whither they are fled. Dispatch, sweet gentlemen, and follow me. Thurio. Why this it is to be a peevish girl, that flies her fortune when it follows her. I'll after more to be revenged on Eglamour than for the love of reckless Silvia. Proteus. And I will follow more for Silvia's love than hate of Eglamour that goes with her. Julia. And I will follow more to cross that love than hate for Silvia that is gone for love. Scene 3, Frontiers of Mantua, the forest. Enter Silvia and outlaws. First outlaw. Come, come, be patient, we must bring you to our captain. Silvia. 1,000 more mischances than this one have learned me how to brook this patiently. Second outlaw. Come, bring her away. First outlaw. Where is the gentleman that was with her? Second outlaw. Being nimble-footed, he hath outrun us. But Moises and Valerius follow him. Go thou with her to the west end of the wood. There is our captain, will follow him that's fled. The thicket is beset, he cannot escape. Exeunt second and third outlaws. First outlaw. Come, I must bring you to our captain's cave. Fear not, he bears an honorable mind, and will not use a woman lawlessly. Silvia. O Valentine, this I endure for thee. Scene 4, another part of the forest. Enter Valentine. Valentine. How use doth breed a habit in a man. This shadowy desert, unfrequented woods. I better brook than flourishing peopled towns. Here can I sit alone, unseen of any, and to the nightingale's complaining notes tune my distresses and record my woes. O thou that dost inhabit in my breast, leave not the mansion so long tenantless, lest growing ruinous the building fall, and leave no memory of what it was. Repair me with thy presence, Silvia. Thou gentle nymph, cherish thy forlorn swain. What hallowing and what stir is this today? These are my mates that make their wills their law. Have some unhappy passenger in chase. They love me well, yet I have much to do, to keep them from uncivil outrages. Withdraw thee, Valentine, whose this comes here. Enter Proteus, Silvia and Julia as Sebastian. Proteus. Madam, this service I have done for you, though you respect not aught your servant doth, to hazard life and rescue you from him. That would have forced your honor and your love. Vouchsafe me for my meed but one fair look. A smaller boon than this I cannot beg, and less than this I am sure you cannot give. Valentine. How like a dream is this I see and hear. Love, lend me patience to forbear a while. Silvia. O miserable, unhappy that I am. Proteus. Unhappy were you, madam, ere I came. But by my coming I have made you happy. Silvia. By thy approach thou mak'st me most unhappy. Julia. And me when he approacheth to your presence. Silvia. Had I been seized by a hungry lion, I would have been a breakfast to the beast, rather than have false Proteus rescue me. O heaven, be judge how I love Valentine, whose life is as tender to me as my soul, and full as much, for more there cannot be. I do detest false, perjured Proteus. Therefore be gone, solicit me no more. Proteus. What dangerous action stood it next to death? Would I not undergo for one calm look? Oh, 'tis the curse in love, and still approved, when women cannot love where they're beloved. Silvia. When Proteus cannot love where he's beloved. Read over Julia's heart, thy first best love, for whose dear sake thou didst then rend thy faith into 1,000 oaths, and all those oaths descended into perjury to love me. Thou hast no faith left now, unless thou'dst too, and that's far worse than none. Better have none than plural faith, which is too much by one. Thou counterfeit to thy true friend. Proteus. In love, who respects friend? Silvia. All men but Proteus. Proteus. Nay, if the gentle spirit of moving words can no way change you to a milder form, I'll woo you like a soldier at arm's end, and love you 'gainst the nature of love, force ye. Silvia. O heaven! Proteus. I'll force thee yield to my desire. Valentine. Ruffian, let go that rude, uncivil touch. Thou friend of an ill fashion. Proteus. Valentine. Valentine. Thou common friend, that's without faith or love. For such is a friend now, treacherous man. Thou hast beguiled my hopes, naught but mine eye could have persuaded me, now I dare not say. I have one friend alive, thou wouldst disprove me. Who should be trusted when one's right hand is perjured to the bosom, Proteus. I am sorry, I must never trust thee more, but count the world a stranger for thy sake. The private wound is deepest, O time most accursed. Mongst all foes that a friend should be the worst. Proteus. My shame and guilt confounds me. Forgive me, Valentine, if hearty sorrow be a sufficient ransom for offense. I tender tea here, I do as truly suffer as ere I did commit. Valentine. Then I am paid, and once again I do receive the honest, who by repentance is not satisfied, is nor of heaven nor earth, for these are pleased. By penitence eternal's wraths appeased, and that my love may appear plain and free. All that was mine in Silvia I give thee. Julia. O me unhappy. Proteus. Look to the boy. Valentine. Why, boy? Why, wag, how now, what's the matter? Look up, speak. Julia. O good sir, my master charged me to deliver a ring to Madam Silvia, which out of my neglect was never done. Proteus. Where is that ring, boy? Julia. Here 'tis, this is it. Gives him a ring. Proteus. How, let me see. Why, this is the ring I gave to Julia. Julia. Oh, cry you mercy, sir, I have mistook. This is the ring you sent to Silvia. Shows another ring. Proteus. But how cam'st thou by this ring at my depart? I gave this unto Julia. Julia. And Julia herself did give it me. And Julia herself have brought it hither. She reveals herself. Proteus. How, Julia?